CPEC is a multi-dimensional project. The second phase of CPEC, if we are able to exploit its in full potential, it can transform our economy and it can create economic opportunities not only for Pakistan but for also neighboring and beyond the neighbor countries. Even if you look in 2013-14, when even our allies war on terror, they owned us. It was China who came to invest in Pakistan. Every time IMF and World Bank and other countries, they predict Pakistan is going to default, then China came forward and helped us. Even the last time China rolled over a loan of more than $4 billion US. Then they also extended $2 billion US loan.
The United States has assured that it may give Pakistan $101 billion US for strengthening democracy and countering terrorism. How significant is this all of a sudden US announcement?
If US care about democracy, they must invest more time in their own country. Their ex-president and the running candidate has been attacked. It was fortunate he is a safe and sound.
Serious security lapse, exactly.
Serious security lapse. They need to worry about their own democracy.
So it's a challenging situation. Please tell us precisely how Pakistan could deal both with the Beijing and the Washington.
Look, Mateen Saab, we don't need to go worry about the balance. We are not here to make happy any country. We are here to work for the development of our country, prosperity of our country.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello and welcome to program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, China-Pakistan relations are growing day by day. And recently when Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif visited China, both countries, Pakistan and China, agreed on second phase of CPEC, that means China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. What is the second phase of this strategically important this corridor? And what economic benefits it will bring for Pakistan. And at the same time, Pakistan has assured Chinese leadership at the highest level that security of Chinese nationals, experts, engineers, workers, technical experts working on hundreds of different projects in Pakistan have been further beefed up. And in addition to this, Pakistan has also told China that the culprits of the Basham incident, in which 5 Chinese experts were killed, have also been arrested. Security has been further beefed up, so China need not to worry about security aspects. Additionally, international powers, particularly Western powers, are also closely watching growing China-Pakistan relations as well. And in future, tension in South China Sea is also growing. And keeping in view this particular tension between China and United States of America, what will be its impact on CPEC, China-Pakistan relations, and these all developments to discuss CPEC second phase, security issues, China-Pakistan bilateral relations, and the visit by the Pakistani Finance Minister, Mr. Aurangzeb, to China. We are joined by a renowned expert, senior most analyst on China-Pakistan relations, senior most analyst on strategic issues, CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and other related developments in Southeast Asia, in South Asia, in China, China-Pakistan, and the region. Mr. Shakil Rame. Mr. Shakil Rame, very warm welcome to program Insight in V News English.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first tell us and tell our viewers globally that what is the significance of this second phase of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and what economic benefits it will bring to the Pakistan particularly and the region as a whole.
Thank you, Mateen Saab. It's a very, I think, important and pertinent issue which need more discussions and more deliberations.
Clarity as well, exactly.
And clarity as well. You're absolutely right. First of all, CPEC is a multi-dimensional project. The second phase of CPEC, if we are able to exploit its in full potential, it can transform our economy and it can create economic opportunities not only for Pakistan but for also neighboring and beyond the neighbor countries. Why I say so, the beyond the neighbor countries? I will come one by one. First of all, second phase talks about industrialization, special economic zones and industrialization. And it is an open secret. Pakistan is still a primary economy. Pakistan is struggling to enter into the secondary economy status. Secondary economic status be always attached with industrialization and the development of industry. Right now, we are a commodity market. Mostly, we are dependent on the agriculture commodities or other natural commodities like minerals. We are selling those commodities. We are struggling to enter the second phase. And for that phase, CPEC is offering us a brilliant opportunity because it was agreed between Pakistan and China. Pakistan and China will establish 9 special economic zones in all over the Pakistan.
Which are also known as 9 corridors, exactly.
No, we have the 5 new corridors.
5 new corridors.
That is a different story. So these were the 9 special economic zones, and we also agreed to establish a special free trade zone at Gwadar Port. So if we look at all these 9 economic zones and one free trade zone, so it shows that what Pakistan need at this point of the time, industry and the investment in the industry, it is all available there. On top of that, if we talk to the Chinese counterparts, they are willing to come to Pakistan. I traveled to China in the last 2 or 3 months at the 2 very important occasions. First, I went on the invitation of their CPC, the Communist Party of China. We met there, the CPC leadership and other people. They were telling, and also we met with the business community. So business community was telling us, our government always asks us, take Pakistan as a priority.
Take Pakistan as a priority, very important thing.
So they always say that. So that's why, despite all the challenges, you can see the Chinese company are coming to Pakistan. Even if you look in 2013-14, when even our allies war on terror, they owned us. It was China who came to invest in Pakistan. Because in 2014 and 15, the war on terror was on its peak.
On its peak, exactly.
On its peak. So at that crucial time, China came to the Pakistan. Still, they have this priority. If Pakistan provide them 2 things, number 1, security. That's Pakistan is showing a very intent to go for the security, to provide them security. But Mateen Saab, for the security, Pakistan have to take 1 or 2 things in the consideration. Number 1, the second phase of CPEC is entirely different from the first phase. In second phase, their work will be more scattered. In industrialization process will be going on. The second process is agriculture cooperation. So there would be involvement of hundreds and thousands of Pakistani as a worker and the managers in these factories and these opportunities. For example, in one factory, at least 4,000-5,000 workers are needed. And if you look at the spectrum,
it's going to create more job opportunities.
More the opportunities. If you look at, if I give you one example, there is a one company in a Chinese company in Lahore. It's a textile company, fashion. They're producing 5,000 jobs. Now they are building a special economic zone, textile special economic zone in Lahore. And they are still in the final stages. They are facing some problem from the government, but still it's the final stages. So not only the jobs, but also you have to deal with a lot of people in terms of the security. Now you have to keep the data of the local of people who are working there in those industries in specific areas. And we also have to keep the data backward and the forward linkages with those industries. For textile industry, you have to deal with the cotton growers, you have to deal with the cotton supplier, and for the export, you have to deal with the exporters, and these are people. So you will need more and more people. And for that purpose, the fundamental element of security should be the police. Because police have the experience to deal with the civilians. Army does not have that experience. Army can be deputed at the places like Gwadar Port or other
strategic locations.
Strategic locations are for the hard action. But for day-to-day security, there should be the job of police because they have all the relevant experience. And they are all over the Pakistan. They are doing this job. Army should do the 2 things. One is strategic location on the hard things. And second, if there are the sabotage efforts, then the army should deal with those international efforts. Like
And foil these conspiracies, exactly.
transparency. Second, we need to work very closely with Chinese security operators. Why I'm saying this? Because if you look around, CPEC is not only the target due to Pakistan, it is also the part of the grand strategy of US and their allies to contain China. In this efforts, they want to create a web of chaos in the surrounding of China. On the one side, they kickstarted Ukraine crisis. On the other side, they urgently, or without giving any notice, without any preparation, they left Afghanistan to go into the chaos. And then after that, there was a new wave of the terrorism in Pakistan. So they are also interfering in the Central Asia. So in the surrounding of China, they want to create a web of chaos. Ultimate objective is China. Pakistan is refusing to be the partner with any allies against China, because Pakistan have its own right to choose our allies and our brotherhood, our relationship. So that's why Pakistan is a target, and they will continue to target. That's why Pakistan Chinese company, a Chinese government, they must sit together and come together to devise the policies. And China should not take this as only Pakistani problem. This is our joint problem. This is China-Pakistan problem, and the both countries should sit together and jointly devise the mechanism of the security. And Pakistan security players also should learn that it is not the interference on Pakistani matters. It is required, it's a need of the time, because Pakistan cannot match international players like USA or the European Unions in terms of the financing, in terms of the equipment, and in terms of the resources. So Pakistan needs resources and everything, and China can help Pakistan in this sense. And second thing, if we want to attract the investment from China, the business environment. This is the critical. We don't talk about it, but the business environment is as important as the security, even maybe more important.
If I can simply say, friendly business environment, true?
Yes, friendly business environment. And so if you look at the 9 economic zones, only one has been completed till now, is the Reschedule zone. That is, you can say, the worst performance of our governments. Not only one government, it's the worst performance of PMLN, it's the worst performance of PTI, and it's the worst performance of this alliance government. So these are the worst, they are not bringing in the required change. One thing and second thing, forget about the Chinese investors. Let's just talk about the Pakistani investors. You talk to any Pakistani investor, what type of the problems they are facing. Even to get a simple lessons, they have to deal with so many agencies. On top of that, if you have the foreign partners, you have to go through the security checks. So in practical term, you take so much time, so people don't want to invest here. So Pakistan must understand, CPEC is not only the one project. Pakistan is not only one country in the Belt and Road Initiative. In a Belt and Road Initiative, there are 153 countries. That means we have 152 competitors. In those competitors, if you look at infrastructure of Vietnam, if you look at infrastructure of some North American, South American countries, or even African countries,
it is amazing.
So you look at their infrastructure. Even you go to the Saudi Arabia, Middle East, you get the license within the 30 minutes, the registration within the 30 minutes, and you get the business approvals within a few days, and business is running. So they have a lot of options. Despite these all options, their government is asking them to invest in Pakistan. And Pakistan is not improving its business environment. We talk a lot, but we do very little.
We do little, exactly.
That is the very biggest problem. It is the biggest problem. So why it is being done? Because the interest groups are running this country. They feel if the business environment improves, so their perks, so their commissions, their rents, from where they will get all this corruption money. And if the things get so easy, so their business will also close, because they will have more competitors in the business. There will be new factories in the sugar industry, in the steel industry, in the textile, and everything. That is not, and that this does not suit to these mafias. So security plus business environment, if we want to really benefit from the CPEC.
So, Mr. Rami, currently Energy Minister, Minister for Electricity, Mr. Awais Ahmad Khan Lagari, and Finance Minister, Mr. Aurangzeb, are on a visit to China, and they also held meeting with Chinese Finance Minister. How significant this meeting is, and what could be the purpose of these visits? Finance Minister is accompanied by the Energy and Electricity Minister, Mr. Awais Lagari. So please share with us what could be the focus of their talks with the Chinese finance minister.
I think right now Pakistan is looking to restructure so our loans with China, because in the next 1 or 2 years we have to pay back that 15 billion US dollar. So they are in
These are being rescheduled.
they are in the talk to reschedule. So the China, if you look at the history, China always bailed us out. Like if you look at from the 2019 onwards, or even before. So whenever we are in a need of the money, it is China. Because every time IMF and World Bank and other countries, they predict Pakistan is going to default, then China came forward and helped us. Even the last time China rolled over a loan of the more than 4 billion US dollar. Then they also extended 2 billion US dollar loan. So Pakistan is in talk with China to give us a breathing space for to roll over these our loans. So that is a one agenda. Second, so we have to pay back more than 500 billion rupees to the Chinese energy companies. So which are working
dollars,
now
500
500 billion rupees.
Okay, 500 billion rupees. Okay.
Our economy is not of the 500 billion US dollar. Our economy is around about 370
to the Chinese companies. Okay.
Yes. So we have to pay back them the 500 billion rupees. So maybe I suppose the energy minister must carry some plan to share with the counterparts how we are going to manage this payment. Because our energy payment is a big problem, not only for China, but overall. If you look at our overall energy circular debt, it is more than 5 trillion now. So that is a big problem for us. Pakistan wants some relaxation from China. But one thing is very clear, Mateen Saab. I don't understand why Pakistani leadership is not understanding, or they don't want to understand. For the last more than 10 years, the Chinese have provided you excellent opportunities in terms of special economic zones investment, in terms of energy, in terms of infrastructure, port, airport, everything. Why we are unable to establish the industry and create our own resources? Why every time we love to beg? So this is a fundamental thing. If we look at that, that is a very critical question. If we need to discuss this question. Begging is so deeply rooted in our society. If you look at our ruling elite, they live on the perks. The perks is a begging. It is not your right. You are taking it from the taxes of the people, or people who have paid the taxes to run the country. Like Allama Iqbal have said, so if you are a beggar to beg, or if you are a king, you are asking for a khiraj, then again you are begging. So Iqbal has told us very long time before that. So we need to come out of this, and we need to try to move our hands and live with the dignity. So that is my assumption. We need to work.
One thing, just 2 days before, Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif chaired a meeting, and there was an extraordinary decision. He said to the concerned department, Board of Investment, Commerce Ministries, and all other, including Foreign Office, that the export target should be revised, and it should be 60 billion US dollars. What do you think? Trade is if there are more Pakistani exports, and that will be a stabilizing factor for Pakistani economy. But how we can achieve this target? Can we do enhance our exports to China, to Far Eastern countries? Is this region having potential for Pakistani exports and trade?
Oh, the avenues are multiple. Even China have asked us in the second FTA, agriculture products and commodities. China is that. So then we have Middle Eastern countries, food export, and we have other countries, But the problem is, so what we produce? Do we have that commodity to sell? One thing, and second thing, does our commodity compete, or is competitive enough in the international market? It is not about what we produce. It is also about either our commodities are competitive in the international market. So that is the fundamental question. For that purpose, if we look at electricity cost, if energy cost, is a transportation cost, every cost, so our cost of production is very high compared to other countries. Their products, some of countries, their products are even cheaper than the Pakistan. So in that context, how we can sell our products in the international market? To sell a product, two things are very important. One is the quality, other is the competitiveness. Do we compete in the quality and on the competitive index? That is our weakness. We have to improve that. One thing, second thing. So our major exports will come from industry. So what is the status of our industry? Either our industry is performing to its full strength? No, because
No.
our cost of production is increasing day by day. Because our energy crisis is getting worse. On top of that, our business environment is the worst.
More
Then the fourth
taxation is another reason. More taxation is the
taxation
another reason.
and the attitude and behavior and rent-seeking behavior. What you can do without paying the bribe to the people? Even being a Muslim, we believe there is a hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So a person who gave a bribe or take a bribe, they both go to the hell. Now, honestly, tell me,
But no fear. No fear.
Mateen Saab, you tell me honestly, how many people have not paid or received bribe in this country? Then we talk about we are the Muslims. So our ethics, our attitudes, our morals, these are very deep-rooted problem. In this context, how we can enhance our export? It can be a statement, but on the ground, you need to change. Either you want to sell only these precious commodity minerals, that is another thing. But for that purpose, you also need investment. So we need to be very subjective and come out of these slogan mentalities. So Mateen Saab, we need to be very objective and take the actions in the right direction.
So, Ramesh Saab, the United States is very, very deeply monitoring developments and China-Pakistan relations. Domestic political indicators are in front of you. Democracy is not stable. In this all backdrop, and also keeping in view the volatile security situation, rise in terrorism attacks, United States has assured that it may give Pakistan $101 million for strengthening democracy and countering terrorism. How significant is this all of a sudden US announcement? Although it has to go through different channels and approvals, but you might have seen these statements in the media that United States has assured that it will be giving. So how significant it is strengthening democracy? Do you think democracy in Pakistan is weak, that United States wanted to help strengthen democratic institutions and help government of Pakistan in fighting terrorism?
There are two things, Mateen Saab. And number one, if US care about a democracy, they must invest more time in their own country. What is happening? So their ex-president and the running candidate has been attacked. It was fortunate he is a safe and sound.
Serious security lapse, exactly.
Serious security lapse. And what is happening? What happened after the previous election, the presidential election in the US, and what is happening right now? The division in their society and everything.
The United States itself is in a mess, exactly.
They need to worry about their own democracy. One thing, second thing. Whenever US say the democracy in any country, it is not a good news. You can take the example of any country in the world where the US started to talk about democracy. It means they want to interfere in that country. And if we look around their policy for the last 6-7 years, they are building a narrative against China. They want to contain China. They are taking actions, and they are in the previous 2 or 3 programs, like in the Science Act and other act, and they were also talking about take another launch another Build Back Better initiative and these things. They were specifically talking about to allocate money to run campaigns against CPEC, against Chinese investment, not only in Pakistan but also other parts of the country. They allocated millions of the dollar. So the best suited elements are the instruments for them to interfere in other countries and doesn't matter. There are 2 or 3 things they do very quickly. One is democracy, other is a human right. In reality, they are not concerned about human rights. They are neither concerned about the democracy, neither they are concerned about the human rights. If they are concerned about the human rights, they must be talking about the Gaza. So what is happening to the human there, not about the rights, but what is happening to the human lives there. And they must talk about the Kashmir, what is happening there. If they really care about the human rights, they don't care about the human rights. For them, human rights is what I get and what my companies get. And democracy?
Only commercial and trade interest.
And democracy, they are very happy with all the dictators like General Sisi in Egypt or other countries. But any country who does not take their actions, that they are lying, or they don't
Then they
agree
create
with their
democracy
ideas,
issues.
then there is a democracy. Can you decide? Can they define what is the democracy? What they're talking about? Is that to kill the people? What they did in Iraq, what they did in Libya. Libya was the most happiest country. People were
Most
living a
prosperous. Exactly.
luxurious life there. They don't need to worry about with their electricity bills, education bill, hospital bills, or their food or living. No, look at the status of the Libya. So
It's
they're
in deep
starving.
crisis now.
People
Exactly.
have been enslaved. So they don't talk about democracy and these things. There's a bad news for Pakistan, and Pakistan should resist and tell the US, please keep your democracy to yourself and try to build your own democratic institutions, and you need it more. Because in your country, your own leading presidential candidate is telling that your system is rigged. So that means you need to work more on your own democracy.
We are gradually moving to the end of the program. Precisely tell us, will Pakistan be able to maintain balance between its relations with the Beijing and the Washington? If we get more closer with the Beijing, then there is growing pressure from Washington. So it's a challenging situation. Please tell us precisely how Pakistan could deal both with Washington and Beijing.
Look, Mateen Saab, we don't need to go worry about the balance. We are not here to make happy any country. We are here to work for the development of our country, prosperity of our country. If we are getting the opportunity from US, we must work with the US. No matter who tell us don't work with the USA, we must work with the US. And if we are getting from the opportunities from China, we must work with the China. And nobody should tell us what we should work or we should not work with the China. And one thing, second thing, we have to analyze history. Okay, what our friend did with us. Look, from the very beginning, whenever we were in the dire need, US always run away. Even sometimes after the first Afghan war, they sanctioned the Pakistan badly. And then again they sanctioned Pakistan during the second war in Afghanistan, war on terror. When Pakistan was suffering from the terrorism, they introduced the FATF to snub the investment in the Pakistan and to put an end to the Pakistani trade. They badly impacted Pakistani economy, and they are not ready to give us any technology. And look at that, their cooperation with India. If US is saying something to us, so we can ask USA. So you are also having a relationship with our enemy. So what about that relation? Are you making a balance for them? No, they are not. So we don't need to worry about the balance. What we need to do is to talk about our benefit, and we need to play smartly.
Benefit for Pakistan ultimately.
And what is the benefit for the Pakistan? If you look at China in the history, China always stood by Pakistan, whatever the situation. Even in the worst time of our history during the war on terror, China came forward to invest in Pakistan. I give you one figure, Mateen Saab. In 2013-14, Pakistan was losing 4 to 5 billion US dollar due to load shedding. If China did not invest in our electricity sector, today we made a calculation. Pakistan would be losing 15 to 20 billion US dollar annually due to electricity shortages.
No, thanks to these IPPs.
And that's what I'm saying.
By the China, exactly.
We need to also analyze the past, who remain our friend. But the problem is our elite, they have their bank accounts in the West. They have their children in the West. They have the business in the West. That's why they are not making a rational decision. And they are putting forward these balance theory. There's no balance. We need to talk about what is in the benefit of the Pakistan. That we should do.
Exactly what should be the interest in the interest of the Pakistan, that should be done, instead of getting concerned that which country will be happy and which country will be unhappy. Thank you so much indeed, Shakil Ramesab, an expert on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, China-Pakistan relations, regional strategic developments, and related issues. Dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Allah Hafiz from studios.